Hey y'all, Corey here from Ensemble, Texas. I am a naturalist, writer, and storyteller based in San Antonio, Texas. The baby's asleep, got the monitor on my waist here clipped in, and so time for a little bit of a project to set up our very first mini pond. So, talking about why even we might consider this first, much more approachable way to get some water into your landscape besides the complete very massive project of constructing an actual pond. But we want to do this because adding water to a landscape really attracts a much greater diversity of wildlife. Water is an incredibly important resource for birds, mammals, and reptiles. Second, mosquitoes are a real issue here, and so it might seem a bit counterintuitive, but the goal here is going to be creating a thriving and a self-contained ecosystem here. The final touch being adding some fish are really eating mosquito larvae and getting those fish here at the end, seeing if they can survive and thrive in these conditions so that we can provide some sort of natural remedy to the mosquito population here that's really kind of blowing through the roof here in South Central Texas this time of year. First things first, for setting up a mini pond, you need some sort of big basin here, or in our case, we purchased this clay but ceramic sealed pot here. Early on already, I sealed this some time ago. I bought some caulk that was watertight, something that you'd use probably for a bathroom job to seal the bottom hole that was on the planter. And so if it's not sealed already, you got to figure out how to do that. I'll certainly provide a link to that. And so with this sealed, I tested it with lower levels of water to see that it would hold, and it has thus far. The ultimate end test will be when everything's set up to see how quickly this drains and if we notice any water leaking out from the bottom. But we've had some significant rains, which catches the rain in here and ultimately becomes a mosquito haven, at least just until we've gotten this project up and running. Next came the plant selection, and so it's important to know what you get, and of course then thereafter what quantity of water each of the individual plants are comfortable sitting in. Okay, so we have 5 Texas native plants that can go in a mini pond just like this. First, we have the pickler weed. Then we have the blue flag iris. We have aquatic milkweed. We have lizard's tail, peculiar name for a reason. And then finally, we have the swamp mallow, which has a beautiful hibiscus-like flower. So as we're going through this, it's important to know the various distances through which the plants will be comfortable, or depths really, that the plants will be comfortable submerged underwater. And so, great thing about pond plants is that they can come in these containers. You don't have to do any digging. You can just place them in. This blue flag iris obviously is pretty tall. Will make a good background for this pond, I think. And so the blue flag iris likes to be submerged up to 6 inches. So keeping that in mind from where its roots are at the base, this will probably give it maybe an inch or 2 on that. I think we'll get the water to just about where it's at. So we'll just kind of continue to go by heights, at least at the immediate moment. Here we have the swamp mallow itself, likewise is okay being submerged up to 6 inches. Okay, blue flag iris and the swamp mallow positioned in there just fine. What I'm going to have up front is the aquatic milkweed, which says it can be up to 18 inches. So it really doesn't mind being far down in the water. And then we have the lizard's tail here, which can go 0 to 6 inches as well. So about an inch or 2 off the ground. Then last, the pickler weed, about 3 to 5 inches off the ground. And so, could tuck this in likewise next to the hibiscus. And this will make for a pretty packed setup. Biggest challenge here is really navigating the politics of space. All right, so I think everything is reasonably in place. Again, not the end of the world if you do have to move something, and it's all an experiment here to learn more. But from this point here, I think we're ready to fill in the pot. It's gonna be a bit hysterical because I have a rain barrel out front that's full right now. We have more rain in the forecast here in San Antonio, so it gives me a good reason to empty it out, but it is in my front yard, so the logistics of getting the water here means that I'm going to be making a lot of trips. So this will be a bit silly, but let's fill it up. Of course, I'm using rainwater. I did buy a special pond ready filter, but I'm going to save that for fill-ups from the hose hookup that I have here in more desperate times. But since I need to empty a rain barrel anyways, that's what we're going to do. But by using rainwater right out of the gate, there's nothing that I have to do from water coming straight out of the spigot that I might have to wait for chlorine or other potential chemicals that are in the city water line to evaporate off, so that they don't shock the plants. So rainwater, probably the best thing that we can do here to fill it up. Second best would be having a pond ready filter. I'll go ahead and link up in the description below, filter that I bought myself. Okay, so had to come back here after a day because almost had the pond finished up here, and then this happened. Pond was almost there. Very cool. Been manually bringing water from the front, and then this. No! So, had to drain it back down to the level to where the crack was. I grabbed some additional waterproof sealant. Then I have the white putty on the inside. And so now we're gonna attempt a second go at arranging the plants once more and filling this pond up to finish this project. So we'll see. I'm not convinced that we won't get another crack, but let's start filling once again. Certainly crash testing the first crack before getting too ambitious to fill the rest of the pond up. So now we're gonna start filling things up once again. We got a little bit of rain too, so not enough to fill the whole rain barrel back up, but some, so we'll get started. How cool is this, dude? Good job, pal. Thank you. Okay, pond is just about finished. Did some maneuvering and lowered things a little bit so that the planters themselves were a bit less visible. And definitely are when you're not up close. Could maybe even trim the tops off of them because there's some soil missing anyways, and get those a bit lower, but also I think the additions of the little log here and rock, which can make for different platforms for wildlife on the pond, distract a little bit from what would be those planters. So final step, it's not completely a pond unless it's stocked with fish. So I'm gonna order some mosquito-eating fish, the gambusa, from Petco, because I've had difficulty finding it locally. Bless you. Should we open up these fish?
Open it.
Okay, Daddy, open it?
Yeah, open that box.
Okay.
Doing.
Open in the bag, bud.
Why?
Should we let the fish out?
Huh?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's see. The fish are like, oh no.
Huh?
You see the fish?
Yeah.
They live in here now. All right, y'all, that's a wrap. Pond established here. It's been about a week. Fish still swimming around in here. I've only had to fill the pond up once, topped it off with 2 gallons here just today. So it's been about a week. So a little bit of evaporation. Temps have been in the mid to high 80s, a couple days in the 90s. We're not in the heat of summer here yet in San Antonio. So I do imagine during particularly dry spells and hot times during the summer, might need to top it off with the pond ready filter on the hose. However, with a more robust rainwater harvesting system, we might be able to make it throughout the year just fine, just topping maybe once a week on the pond, maybe twice in the dead heat of summer. But all in all, I think a successful project. Next, we'll be working more on the mosquitoes. The dunk really hasn't taken care of everything in this area. I think that's because we've changed out the water a little bit with that leak that we had earlier on. But for all details with the plants that I've used, as well as the various equipment and tools and things, you can find links in the description below, both to the companion post outlining this in greater detail step by step if text is more so your thing, and likewise links to all the tools and equipment necessary down in the description. So check out coryames.com and ensembletexas.com. Until next time.